So if we're looking at shorter shots, okay, depending on whether it's 10 yards, 20 yards, 30, anything that's not a full swing for you, okay, as we said, the golf swing creates a circle around your body, okay. We need to ensure though we have a short setup, okay, as in terms of your feet are closer and the golf ball now is more towards the centre. If it gets too far forward, as in too much over here, you're going to be hitting the golf ball late. So it's going to go left or hit the ground early and duff it, okay. So make sure that golf ball is back underneath your sternum. You want, if that's sort of middle of your body there, you want your hands, as you can just see, just ahead of that, which is great. And the golf ball now on line with that, okay, so you're actually hitting the golf ball cleaner and then the ground rather than the ground first and then the ball, okay. But based on that, when you've got those sort of circles there, if we go back to putting them there, with the circle around your body, depending on how far that club goes back, will determine. So even on this now, you're not going to know how far this shot would go until the club stops moving, okay. So this was your probably a 35-yard shot with a pitching wedge or your sand on, okay. If we watch this one, same exact movement, we just cut the swing off shorter so it goes less. Yeah. Both of those, if we go back to that there, I wouldn't say, apart from the club being a bit blurry because the club's continuing to move, there's any difference in those two positions, is there?
No.
Just the club continued on round that circle depending on how far the shot is. If it's a short shot, it stops here or stops there or wherever it may be. Wherever you stop the club, you always then accelerate through the golf ball with a full to the swish of that club, keeping that width, so your triangle that your arms have when you're at the golf ball there. So that triangle there, we maintain it on the way through as on the way back. So you're keeping the width with your swing. Your arms and hands are working nice and low and around that. You're not sort of pulling and popping them up here and getting them too close, okay?
I'm pretty good.
Doing good, yeah, exactly. But again, look at the difference in that strike with that sand down, send the ball up pretty quickly. And that sort of flat there, that angle, whatever that is there, that's going to get over most things quite quickly and stop on the ground like a bag of sand, you see. So you get a nice bit of loft over bunkers, over something or a mound or whatever, but you're keeping your hands away from the body. But like I said, the length of swing determines how far it goes.
Away from the body.
Yeah, so you don't want your hands to be sort of pulling into there. See, there's a gap there between your hands and the body. You haven't sort of brought them in here and sort of flick it up in the air as sometimes we see.
As I do.
Not very often now. Anyway, used to, but not as much now, okay? But if the length of swing in the pad, if you had this length backswing, for example, trying to go 10 yards, you've created, by having the club to swing back that far, 40 yards of power. So you've now got to try and take off 3/4 of that power you stored to hit the golf ball 10 yards. Yeah. Trying to quit on the golf ball is going to cause muscle tension, grabbing the club, trying to slow it down, shrugging the shuttle, stop, and you miss hit it.
Got it.
Okay, so set the distance going back and then accelerate through. If you only went back this far and hit it as far as you could, it would go nowhere near as far as a backswing went that far.
Yeah.
You haven't, it's like an elastic band. The further you pull it back, the further it's going to, like a catapult. If you pull a catapult back 6 inches and let go, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't matter how fast or how fast it goes back. You can pull it back this far and let go, or I could pull it back that speed, the same spot, and let go. It's still going to go the same distance. Again, you're not hitting it harder. You're just creating more or less power in the case of these shots. But I think be careful when you're on the range. These cones here, or just try and anytime come here, just chuck a few cones out there if you wanted to, or do some chipping on the green. Just put a target to aim for, because the first one you went for that cone number 4 in the sunlight, and you went to cone 2. As good a shot as it was, if that's on a golf course trying to go over something, you may have gone in that thing. Exactly, yeah. So always assess how good your shots are based on where they go relative to what you're trying to do, rather than just, it went in the air, whoop-de-doo. That's great, but on a golf course it might go in the air, it might go in the bunker in the air. So we can assess that. Okie dokie, make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent.